I just did 11 minutes of content on the 2025 NFL draft class. And you know what happened? I was stuck on the wrong screen. So you know what that means? We're back. Part 2 of part 1. I'm Russell Clay. We're at fantasyguru.com. We are reviewing the 2025 Combine today. We got some energy. We got some coffee. And we are going to go through this draft class, talk about the Combine, how we should be viewing it coming into 2025 rookie drafts, the offseason, best ball. How should we be reviewing this class, and what should we be getting excited about or not excited about? So let's fire in. I got cat hair on my shirt. I got rankings. I got combine results. I got coffee. Let's go. All right. Let's present first. We're going to present the rankings. So, most quarterbacks didn't test this year, and this is the draft class. I would have loved to see Jalen Milroe test. I would have loved to see Jackson Dart test. I imagine their pro days are going to tell the story there. However, we're mostly looking at the combine at this point for pretty much all positions as an interview process. The storylines, narratives, and potential red flags coming out of this weekend are what we care about. So that's what we're looking for. And that's what we're looking at, especially at quarterback now, the testing. Why would they? Right? Why would they test? Who cares? If you guys haven't checked out NFLDraftBuzz.com, they have really deep rankings. Of course, I update Fantasy Guru for the dynasty side of things and continually update those as the season goes on. But if you are, especially during the 2025 or this upcoming season, if you want to check out the new rankings, they do a really great job on this website. Okay. So again, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to share the combine results at the quarterback position. And you're going to see some of these 3 guys tested, 3 guys tested, 3 guys tested, 4 guys tested, 3 guys tested, 3 guys tested, and nobody tested. So that's where we're at. Shootin's back. Shout out to Shootin. We're back, and we are presenting the right screens. This is essentially agents saying F you to the combine for quarterbacks. It's totally irrelevant. Athletic testing, even if you're a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, and in this class, Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe, the athlete-based quarterbacks, you know, what are you really doing here? We don't need to know this. Go get an inflated pro day. All that matters is that headline the day it happens. It doesn't matter that it was adjusted and the guy hit the watch 0.5 seconds too early or 0.05 seconds too early. None of that matters. All that matters is the headline and what these internal organizations are finding. And at this point in the game, we know NFL teams have much more information than us. They have info. They have the tracking data on the players, the college data I don't have access to, but I want. And yeah, Shootin said, so lame. Dart and Milroe didn't test, had big opportunity to raise draft capital. Shows me they're scared to compete, fail. So if Milroe goes in there and runs a 4.4, does that change anything for him? That's my only question. I was thinking about that this weekend. Does it change anything for Milroe if he goes and runs a 4.4? Because I do think he could run a 4.4. He is hyper athletic. And if he runs a 4.4 at 217, number one, hell of an athlete. So even if he doesn't pan out as a quarterback, he's going to have a long NFL career, would be my assumption. They're going to find snaps for that guy somewhere doing something. Dart, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know. I do think he's a great athlete, but he is a clear tools prospect. And we've seen that work. Hell, Josh Allen was a pure tools prospect. So would love to see that. The Will Howard had a notably terrible combine despite having an amazing playoff run. Really curious beyond the testing. Really curious where the NFL lands on Will Howard, because he looked amazing in the playoff and looked dreadful this weekend. So curious where they land. But anyway, it's not a quarterback based class. If you're in a super flex dynasty league and you have rookie drafts coming up, my suggestion, don't do it. Unless it's Cam Ward. I do like Cam Ward, but he's my archetype. If there's a CJ Stroud, a Caleb, a something like that, Trevor Lawrence, a something like that, pocket passer archetype coming out of this class, it's going to be him. I really like Cam Ward, but is what it is. So, this is a running back class, y'all. And before I had to cut out, I was going to bring you over to the 2017 running back class, because that's what we're looking at here. We have a lot of old running backs holding on to roles. We have a lot of young running backs that don't deserve to be in the positions they're in. And as I said, as we went through the combine results, and we will look at those combine results in a second, there's 10 to 15 running backs from this running back class that are going to shine. So I want to show you what happened in 2017, and then we can review this class. But when you look back at all this, right, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 running backs drafted, plus Austin Eckler coming out of this group. Guys like Jamal Williams, even Wayne Gallman had a moment. Marlon Mack had a 1,000-yard season. McNichols is starting to play well. Aaron Jones, one of the best late-round picks of the last decade. Chris Carson, the best, beyond Isaiah Pacheco, the best seventh-round pick of the decade. So when you look at this crew came in, took over, and still has a stranglehold on the NFL landscape. James Conner, Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette. This is the type of running back class that we're dealing with this year. It's going to come in and it's going to take over. So unlike last year, Joe Williams. Oh God. So as we look at this 2025 running back class, you look at the rankings of this class, and human nature is to say, this guy's the 10th best running back in a class. There's no way he's going to be good. This guy's the 15th best running back in a class. There's no way he's going to be good. All running back classes are not created equal. We've had 6 straight running back classes that were kind of mediocre or whatever. 2020 was good. 2021 was all right. But we've had a really rough run. Like last year was really rough. People got excited about Jonathan Brooks. People got excited about, some of these other players. Bucky Irving was warranted, but I'm telling you, this class, we got 15 guys that are that would have been, it sounds silly. We have 15 guys in this class that would have been top 10 in that class. So just when you look at this group, I don't know much about, is that a silent B? Hayshel Tootin? He broke the combine this week. So little Kine and Wongwu vibes there, if you know what I'm talking about. Kine and Wongwu came in, really thrived in the combine. Became a kick returner, a really good one for the Minnesota Vikings, but probably what we're looking at there for Tootin. But when you get into some of these guys that were featured backs in college and really good ones, I'm talking Brashard Smith, RJ Harvey, Trevor Etienne was not a featured back, but was a main back for Florida and Georgia. That's impressive. Travion Henderson, even a guy like Jarquez Hunter, who's not getting any praise right now, but, led some really, really horrific Auburn offenses to better results because he's on the team. Omarion Hampton, Raheem Sanders, Quinshon Junkins, Damian Martinez. Guys, I'm telling you, all these guys are featured backs in college. This was not the case last year or the previous 2 to 3 classes. Taj Brooks, Woody Marks, Jordan James was featured at Oregon this year. Caleb Johnson, incredible season at Iowa this year. Devin Neal was a featured back at Kansas for like 4 years. Monogany, or however you say it, really good 2025 or 2024 season at Rutgers. Ollie Gordon. So combine testing aside, when I just look at this class from a production standpoint, from a just overall class perspective, this is stacked to the max. This is 3 to 4 draft classes worth of running backs in this class. Great question. Ollie Gordon shooting. Ollie Gordon's a guy that had that season, right? 2023 season, produced, played amazing, did well. Everything we like to see from a prospect. And let's pull that up. Let's see if we can pull that up. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Ollie Gordon is an afterthought in this class, right? Complete afterthought. And look at his 2023 season. Guys, 2,000 scrimmage yards, 22 touchdowns, first team All-American. He was the Big 12 Player of the Year. Struggled in 2024 for a lot of reasons. This guy is an afterthought, right? A complete afterthought in a class where if he was in another class, we'd be getting RB1 hype out of that. So that's what we're dealing with this combine. Of course, he didn't blow the doors off the 40-yard dash, but is he a guy who we really profiled as a speed guy to begin with? So he's, he does have some similarities to Chuba Hubbard, who came out of Oklahoma State a few years ago, but that just shows you the depth of this class because he's not even a thought right now, especially after the combine. But Travion Henderson, we're going to spend most of our time here today on these running backs. Omarion Hampton, another guy I really, really like. Raheem Sanders, Quinshon Junkins. I already went through all this list, but boy, you guys got to look into all these players if you haven't yet, because it's unbelievable. Even a guy like Donovan Edwards, who shared with Blake Corum for most of his career, someone to keep an eye on. Cam Skattebo was a do-everything guy. Not sure what he's going to look like in the NFL, but certainly a fun player and prospect that will get the attention of NFL teams. RJ Harvey's a guy that didn't play for a big school, but you want to keep an eye on him and where he goes. He could be someone that really emerges early in his NFL career, could be a 2nd or 3rd round rookie pick that really emerges quickly, especially if he goes to a place like Washington or something like that, takes over for Austin Eckler. Really like him. Last thing I'll say, DJ Giddens, not someone who's going to get a lot of hype. Nice vertical there. someone to keep an eye on as like a 5th, 6th round pick. Nobody's going to draft him. And if he goes to the right team, he was really good at Kansas State over multi seasons. So that broad and 3-cone should interest you a little bit. Wide receiver. I am on record of saying I don't love this class. I like Luther Burden. I'm only gonna account for his final season, but I'm only gonna account for his sophomore season because he was spectacular that year. It was a really weird year for him in 2024. Theo Wease outproduced him, which Theo Wease is a good prospect in his own right, probably make an NFL roster, but that's not a guy you'd ever expect to outproduce Luther Burden. Luther Burden did get rumored. There was rumors of an injury. He left a few games early, or one game early I know of that I watched. And the only reason I know is because I was invested for NFL or college football DFS. And it was like, where'd he go? So probably was dealing with an injury of some sort. But he's the wide receiver 2 in this class, whereas last year it was Malik Neighbors, So we're dealing with a much different class here. Matthew Golden, not a guy that really emerged at Texas. Great testing, though. Dante Thornton, not a guy who emerged at Tennessee. We're seeing a lot of that this year. All these guys that tested really fast, they might sneak into the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft, but they're not players I'm super excited about. They were never featured. Weapons, Felton for Maryland is interesting, but these are not guys that really made a huge impact. Jordan Watkins, now we might be talking. Jalen Noel broke the combine. Really. Stop it. Broke the combine, 91 percentile score, 11 2 broad jump, 41.5-inch vertical, 4.39 freak show. We've seen a lot of that come out of Iowa State over the last decade. Hakeem Butler, Alan Lazard. So a guy I'm really excited about individually, Alec Iom, and game at Stanford was really the only option there. 38-inch vertical, 4.4 at 206. Pretty good. All right. Jaden Higgins, Savion Williams, 4.8, 4.48 at 220 pounds.
Savion Williams.
That plays for me. That plays for me. He only ran the 40 at the combine, but 4.48 at 6'4", 222 is moving. Trey Harris,
Matthew Golden,
one of the most productive wide receivers in the 2024 college season. 4.54 is not too exciting, but he has some really nice traits as well. Overall, this class, like a lot of these guys are not featured weapons, unfortunately. So I know we're all holding out hope for Travis Hunter. I'd be shocked if he wasn't a corner in the NFL. Let's see. Golden, first rounder, you think? Let's take a look at Golden. Because he was never really all right, let's take a look here. Stop sharing. Present. Let's take a look. So he was pretty good this year. 987 yards, 9 touchdowns. But he wasn't someone who really stood off the page until a few of these games in the playoff. I don't know, guys. That's not historically someone I would go after. But hey, first rounder in a new era of college football. That was his first year with Texas. So we'll see. Overall, I'd give this wide receiver class a C. C minus maybe compared to what we've been dealing with the last half decade. Tight end, is what it is. We got what we got. We have our main guys in this class who didn't really test. Harold Fannin, a lot of people not loving what they see from Harold Fannin, but he did have a nice production profile at Bowling Green. So, and tight ends come in all shapes and sizes. Antonio Gates never looked like the peak of athletic performance in the NFL. He was never overly jacked or anything. He was just, had those basketball skills. The one guy I will say to keep an eye on coming out of this weekend is Terrence Ferguson. Terrence Ferguson was really good at times for Oregon this past year. Nice receiving threat, nice overall prospect, someone that we can get excited about and someone that's going to thrive. 6'5", 247, probably a third-round pick. If we're looking at a Zach Ertz type guy coming out of this class, probably going to be him. So 4.63, nice numbers, nice weekend overall. So anyway, all right, we're 22 minutes into this. I think that's a good place to stop. We're going to be having prospect profiles come out in the next couple weeks with our staff over at fantasyguru.com, but I wanted to do a review of the combine, give you a breakdown of this class from a fantasy perspective. Rankings will be updated this Wednesday, so go check those out on the site. I'm Russell Clay. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you next time.